What's up? This is Rebel Radio.
What up? What up? This is DJ Newmark.
This is Peanut Butter Wolf.
It's your boy. It's okay.
Keep checking out Rebel Radio.
Rebel Radio.
This is Rebel Radio.
We're in the place right here. Rebel Radio is going down.
Would you say Rebel Radio?
Oh, wait. Let's do it again.
Rebel Radio.
What's up? What's up? Welcome back. It's Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Josh Levine. My guest today is DJ Spider. You might know him from his residence at the Wynn Hotel in Vegas. He's going on tour this summer with Blink 182, so you might see him there. And you might have seen him all over social media. This dude has his digital game on lock. He's going to give us some insights into how to burn up the clubs without also burning up your life, a common theme that we hear on this show. And some tips on how he's used social media to really ignite his career. He's got a great story about the Make DJing Great Again hat that he made, which kind of ignited a social media firestorm, and it's a great story there. So let's get into the interview with DJ Spider. All good. Well, thanks for being here, DJ Spider. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
I've been following you kind of from afar. We don't know each other, but I've been following you on social.
Yeah, you too, actually.
That's weird.
Well, I heard of this podcast like on the first episode. I listened to it. I feel like another podcast promoted it or someone I know, and I just tuned in. I kind of like looked you up and then was like, oh, he does so many cool things. This is going to be cool. And I listened to the first one.
Oh, right on.
And like started, subscribing and whatever.
Nice.
So.
Well, we love having great DJs on. I think, the show's about entrepreneurship. I think in so many ways DJs are really the entrepreneurs that we can all learn from. And then, in addition to being a great DJ, you're also, I think, really interesting on the stuff you do on social.
Oh, thanks.
So I'm excited to learn all about that, but welcome.
All right, thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me.
So tell me, how'd you get started in this? How'd you get into music originally?
I mean, I definitely never thought I'd be a DJ or even in the music business at all.
Really?
Growing up. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't seem like an option. And even when I started DJing, it was so much for fun and just from going to raves here. Like I used to go to Insomniac and all these raves in downtown, all those warehouse parties and the stuff that's now, EDC and all that. And I was just so like enamored with what was, going on there. And I didn't even understand what the DJs were doing. I mean, I had been into hip hop and stuff, since probably, I don't know, around fifth grade or so, like with the Beastie Boys and Run DMC and as, I was growing up, I mean, hearing Wu-Tang and Gangstar and all this stuff and DJ Premier and the scratches, but I didn't understand how it was made. And then going to these raves, I'm like, are these guys making the music back there? I mean, I don't know, and I wasn't necessarily sober, so I didn't exactly know what was going on. But
of course,
then finally one of my friends got turntables, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. And I just had like a feeling that I could do it. I don't know why, but I just started messing around, and that's what got me into the DJ part, which just was for fun. It was at the end of high school and into college, and when I got to college, I didn't know what I was doing, and they're like, we have a radio station. I'm like, oh, I'll do that.
Right.
So I just got as many shows as I could and as into the station as I could, and I would just DJ there. And, even for the 5 years I was there, I didn't think it would be my job. It was just like a fun thing.
What'd you think you were going to do?
Well, as I was in college, I slowly started learning about things you could do with music. And I always thought I'd be somehow in the entertainment business, just growing up here and learning about it from my family and stuff. So originally I was like, I'm going to be a music supervisor. Like I had an internship at New Line Cinema, and I remember helping with that movie Boiler Room, and they had such dope music. And I'm like, and then I helped with that movie Scratch, like clearing the samples. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is what I want to do. I can DJ at night and then do this.
Yeah.
And it's almost like DJing in the world. But then after a while of waking up early and then DJing at night and doing all that, and then seeing that you can actually kind of make money DJing, I realized, wait, I should kind of give it a go. just as a DJ, period, and see what happens, you know.
What was the first like paid gig?
Oh man. Well, in the first gig, I feel like that I got paid to play music that I didn't necessarily know or love all of it. I remember in college it was like an 80s party. And, you know, when you had to buy records, you only had a certain amount of records. You only had a certain amount of money to buy the records. Yeah. So I just had drum and bass and underground hip hop and funk music and scratch. Like I didn't have scratch records. I didn't have 80s records. So I remember I had to go to Amoeba and Rasputin. I was up in the Bay Area and I just bought as many 80s records as I could. And I was kind of like, this sucks. Like, I don't want to do this, but they're paying me. So I'm going to try to do it. And it was at my college. And I remember doing it. And like, I remember girls dancing. And it gave me this crazy feeling of like, wait a second. Like, it's not all about just making them hear this weird raucous records, underground thing. And me do doubles of it for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I can play fun songs. Girls can be into it. Then the guys are happy when the girls are happy. And it's like a different thing. And I think that's what opened my mind to, like paying DJ gigs and being open to like just open format, I guess, of what it is now. I didn't realize at the time,
Yeah, of course.
So I think that was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting. I mean, we tend to think of the DJ as like the guy that's in control. Right. And just kind of playing whatever you want. And, and I think obviously there is some of that, right? And you are supposed to take people, you're in charge, right, of the experience.
Yeah. I mean, you're in charge as you want to be, but I think a sign of it all, at this point, everything's different. So there's a lot of shows that are just a DJ and it's a producer playing their song. So they're still probably going to try to give the crowd what they want, but before that, the actual DJ, I think a huge part of it is reading the crowd, reading the room, and going with it and using the energy and the vibes you're getting from the people to then adjust what you're doing. And I think that's the sign of a good DJ. If you have your head down the whole time, you don't know what's happening, everyone might be gone by the time you put your head up. You have to, that's part of a good, well-rounded DJ, I think.
So how do you learn to read a crowd?
I mean, I guess just going back to that night, it started with that. I mean, seeing like, oh, they react to that. They don't react to that. I mean, with Serato, it got easier, I guess, because you had so many more options. But I remember, you start out the night and you're playing stuff that you do really want to hear, that you think they might want to hear. And then you start testing out records to see if they're going to be into it. I mean, if you play a hip hop record and no one's into it, then you're probably not going to play that much of it. If you play an 80s record and they all start going crazy, you're going to go more that route. So you just kind of see what they react to. I mean, I still, to this day, every gig I do that. I have records and I'll test stuff out. Like, oh, they're dancing to Madonna. Like, they're going to like all this stuff. Or they're like giving me thumbs down and booing me. Like, I'll do this.
Sure.
And nowadays it's different because everybody thinks they know everything that run these parties. And
of course.
They go, keep it at this BPM and this vibe, and our crowd doesn't like this, and you're too old school, it's too new. It's like, oh wow, come on, like stop trying to be the know it all. Like, let me just feel this out, and it's okay. Like, sometimes I'm gonna mix an old school song with a new school song or something. Like, just give me some room, but now it's very sectioned off. Like, this is a hip hop night, this is this kind of night, at some places.
Yeah, sure. And I know you have to balance all those things, right? And so I know you're now a resident at a lot of the big clubs, especially Vegas.
Yeah. I've been going to Vegas for probably almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
Just sometimes I'm resident every week of my life. Sometimes it's every month. Sometimes just one-offs. It just goes up and down. Depends what companies I'm working with. But yes, I'm basically there at least once a month, if not more.
Right.
And then other places.
So that seems to be like the place where,
oh, thank you.
Maybe you'll see the most of that, like the club owners or the managers really being super hands-on.
Yes, but it's weird. There's a like huge difference in some clubs. I have some clubs that literally want to tell me what to do the entire time. They have bottle presentation songs, which is ridiculous. I understand they're trying to go cater to the people spending a lot of money, but they're like, okay, put on this. I'm on a boat. I need Kenny Loggins, Danger Zone. We've got Top Gun coming out. We need this. We need this. We need classical, and play this. They're just telling you what to do the whole time, which is annoying and throws you off as a DJ and creatively makes you feel sometimes like, what am I doing? But I have other clubs that almost have never said anything to me, I mean, there's clubs I've done in Atlantic City that are just huge bottle service casino type places that never have said one word to me. And even when I was at the Wynn, I was there for 3 years, over 3 years, every Friday night at Trist. I don't think they ever told me what to play, and they were just like, great job, or, we'd talk about it, but that was great, and I got to go to their other clubs, feel out what they were trying to do and do it. Yeah. So it changes place to place and management to management. They have different, I guess, techniques. Yeah.
Well, what I think is cool is that, that seems to work for you, right? I've talked to different DJs. We had JCO on. Yeah. Who's
he's the homie.
I know you guys are same manager.
Yeah, and I've known him forever. I mean, he's like hardest working man in the DJ business. I mean, he's always been grinding so hard on every front. And I was on one of his Super 7 mixes. Yeah. And, he's just an amazing scratch DJ and everything, and now is doing so much dope stuff in his production.
Yeah, so he talked about his goal is to kind of not necessarily get out of the clubs, but really focus on the festivals. Yeah. And then, somebody like Adam 12 that we had on talked about, he wants to do his own clubs. Right. Right, where he's in charge and he decides everything and
he has
all that.
Some amazing stories from DJing in those bottle service clubs. For sure. My God, like hilarious stuff. From just stuff going wrong, like why he's not supposed to be in there. Right. But he's so good. I mean, going to his Aphex nights and just all of his, he's so versatile and then just so knowledgeable on music and just a smooth DJ, just makes people dance, which is the best.
So that's what I find interesting is like everybody, you can kind of find your lane. Yeah. Even within this, right?
Yeah, you can.
So what's yours? Right now you're burning up the clubs.
I mean,
is that the plan long term or?
I mean, I don't know how long term you can be burning up the clubs, but without burning up your life. But I mean, I've been doing that for a long time, and I guess it's been, I do have my lane, and that is partially my lane, but I've had so many lanes. I've been DJing for 20 years. I mean, there was 10 years that I had never been to a nightclub. I was just a scratch DJ. I was doing the Root Down and all these like underground clubs. I mean, I was a drum and bass DJ for a while. I was in a hip hop group. I was in a rock group. We would tour. I was just doing scratches, and I've tried so many things. I love all the different parts of it. So I try everything. And then I remember meeting and seeing DJ AM and just going, wait a second, I think I want to do that. He's sort of has a similar taste to me, a similar taste as me, and then he's doing that stuff, and he's in the clubs, and he's making money, which isn't the most important thing, but it's kind of cool, and
helps.
Yes, especially as you get older. Yeah. So that became my focus was, okay, I want to do these special events in LA like he does, these like Hollywood type, parties for whatever, networks and the Oscars and the Grammys and all that. And then I'd be a traveling club DJ, and that was my goal. And I started doing it. But within it, I've always still had a love for being a scratch DJ and doing so many other things. And so I still do that. I do scratches on people's records, and I try to put out, like I've done a couple mixes for BBC lately, and they haven't been mainstream at all. I try to be very, I guess, I don't know if it's a taboo word, but mashup style, where I'm just taking different styles and mixing it all together.
And how important is that for you to kind of get out of like just to do different stuff?
It's fun. I just need to stay inspired. Like with the club stuff, it can become a grind, and you can get in this weird place where you just don't have a good perspective sometimes. So it's fun just to to go. And I mean, sometimes I just go in my room and scratch for 2 hours because it just gives me that feeling like I'm in high school or something again. And it makes me motivated to go do other things, you know? But yeah, that's my quote unquote lane for now. But then, like, I just got asked to go on this Blink-182 tour and be the opening act, which is so
That's
out
amazing.
of my lane. Yeah, thanks. I'm super excited, but I'm also like, it's somewhat out of my comfort zone, I guess, or out of my lane, because I'm going to be doing a show in front of, I don't know how many people. I mean, these places are going to be 15 to 25,000 people, and I'm on before them. So that's actually fun for me to put together that show.
So why'd they pick you?
You know, because I'm the best. No, I have a good relationship with Travis Barker and Blink's management. You know, I don't know. I mean, I guess something like that. I mean, Travis is the ultimate homie. He's the best. And like, I've been doing stuff with him for a really long time, in different capacities. We've done some things where like, where I just did scratches on records for him, and like when he was producing for Paul Wall or whoever, he had a group with Paul Wall called Expensive Taste. I remember I did a show with them scratching, and he had a thing with Yellow Wolf where he played drums and I DJ'd, and Yellow Wolf was rapping, and we were at the Roxy. And it's always been, you know, we've always talked and done that kind of stuff. And I've been helping him with his drum. He does a drum DJ show himself now where he scratches and plays drums. And I've been, you know, just helping him in whatever way I can with that. And he's had me scratch on stuff, you know, other songs he's been doing for people. And then I guess they were just like, come with, you know, you want to come with us on a 49 city tour on a bus for 3 months all over the United States, back and forth and up to Canada. And I'm like, at first I was like telling my wife, I'm like, I got asked to do this thing, but they, you know, they said I can break up the date. She's like, no, you have to do it. So I'm like, you're the best. Yeah,
that's a
she's
cool
like
wife.
very supportive.
Yeah,
I know. I'm very lucky, I think. So she was like, you have to do this. You know, it's once in a lifetime opportunity. Just go for it. So I was like, all right, sign me up. Let's go. Yeah. So that's kind of a departure from that lane. And then I'll be doing after parties that'll be in the lane, you know, doing those clubs. But it's fun for me. I love doing those clubs. I try to incorporate scratching and all the things I love within the bottle service clubs, which is, I guess, why some of them don't like me and some of them do like me, you know. But I'd rather be myself and have people not like me than try to cater so hard and then just feel like a piece of garbage when I'm going to sleep at night.
for sure.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the Blink thing's interesting. I wonder how. I don't know. What do you think it says about your brand that you're able to make sense of that?
Excuse me. I guess, you know, I can be versatile. I'm known for playing a lot of different things, including rock music, and being able to mix it together in a smooth but party way where people can dance, but it's still a fun show to watch, I guess. I mean, I'm talking about myself, so it feels weird, but you know, I feel like I know what to do in those type of situations. But at the same time, I don't know any other punk rock tour that has had a DJ as the opening act. So I think they're trying something new. Yeah. And I'm thankful that they're trying it out on me and they're giving me a chance to bring something to the table for it, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And like I did scratches on the Blink album too. Okay. I don't know if that helped.
Yeah, probably.
You know, getting in there, but
sure.
I haven't even heard it yet, but I'm on one of the songs. And yeah, I think it just says that I hopefully, you know, they think I can rise to the occasion for this and give all these fans that probably don't even know who the hell I am something that they'll like and something that's going to pump them up and make them feel good before the other bands and Blink go on.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
So tell me about Fog and Smog Films. So I see in the videos, and so for people who don't know, the Whole Foods parking lot was like a huge viral success.
Yes, Whole Foods parking lot, Yoga Girl. We had a few of them. Whole Foods, I mean, Fog and Smog is somewhat defunct at this point.
Okay.
But they're still my really good friends, and they all, as we were doing it, everybody had their own life. You know what I mean? We were all guys that were married, about to have kids. Like, it was almost like if it would have happened 10 years earlier or somewhat, which it couldn't have because of YouTube. Everything happened at the right moment anyway, but our lives maybe weren't in the best place to go, let's just quit our normal jobs and do this forever. It would have been fun. Like, I was in a good position to do that because I don't do that much stuff in the daytime. I'm just like around, you know, as I DJ at night.
So and what was your involvement like?
I think, you know, the main like head of Fog and Smog was this guy DJ Dave Whitman. He's a composer for advertisements, like advertising stuff. He's super dope at that. He's actually a DJ. We used to just have scratch sessions, and he would teach me different scratches. And he was in a hip hop group and stuff too, like me. But he became a composer, and he just. I remember one day he went to the Whole Foods parking lot. He went to Whole Foods on like Rose and Lincoln in Venice, and couldn't find a parking space, and then went back to the studio for the advertising place. And I think he had told me, like, someone asked him, like, why, you know, he was making sample beats somewhat, and someone asked him, why aren't you incorporating like electronic sounds or the EDM sounds or whatever into your beats? So he made this beat and then wrote that song and sends it to me and my friend Jake, who was the editor and was like his sidekick in the video. And we were just like, oh my God, this is hilarious. Like, we got to make a video. So just kind of got some people together, this guy, George Woolley, and everyone had a different part. You know, there was a bunch of people in the group, and everyone had their part in it. I mean, mine was more just to do whatever I could do, be the DJ in the video, help promote it on social media because I was on there a lot, and help try to get it out to people that could post it and stuff. And just then when we were in meetings about all the other stuff, just help with brainstorming, like what we should do for the next video and the next one. Because we ended up doing like 5 of them or something. Nothing was as big as Whole Foods, but like Whole Foods itself, like, we're using quotes of it in the store and like sending us gift certificates.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
They were so hyped on it. I mean, they put it on their Facebook. And
did you send it to them, or they just found it?
No, they found it. I mean, it went crazy. I remember it was my, I don't know, anniversary, like wedding anniversary or something. We were somewhere in Santa Barbara, and we had put the video out the night before, and I woke up and it was like, we got 1 million views overnight or some crazy thing. They're like, they want us to go on the Today Show, like everything. Like, it's on every news station. It's on everything. I'm like, what? I'm like, you know, in Santa Barbara with my wife trying to hang out, and we were just like, this is insane. So it just spread like wildfire, just because people hate parking at Whole Foods.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
I think it was just a real, because he really just wrote it right after he went there. It was so real, you know.
Yeah.
And then the other one, he was right next door to this yoga studio and just was like, let's do this.
It's like, it's so, you know, there's so much truth in.
That's what it was.
That.
I mean, he's in Venice. He sees all this stuff. It's that kind of thing. And, you know, we're always just joking around with each other and laughing. And one of the other guys in the video, he did my college radio show with me forever. And then we had an online radio show for a long time. So, you know, we've always just liked to do projects together and laugh about stupid crap, you know.
Yeah, of course. So, you know, besides that, you're obviously, you know, you're big on Vine, and you're like really active in social.
Yeah. Vine, I've like fallen off a little bit. I used to love it so much when it came out, but I don't know what happened. I just, there's so many of them, it's hard for me to keep up. And then once I had a kid and stuff, like, it was hard for me to, I'd feel weird, like, oh, I'm ignoring my kid. I'm like on my phone. This is ridiculous. So, and then once like Instagram and Snapchat and all that, and you can film, it's like hard to know what to whip your phone out and start filming on, you know, and then what platform to transfer it to, you know.
So that's what I was going to ask. Like, is there a strategy, or like, are you just doing stuff for fun?
I'm just doing it for fun. I wish I had more of a strategy. sometimes I think about it or I can envision one, but I don't know if I'm just too lazy or I don't know. I just don't feel like incorporating it.
But so how much does it matter? Like I know you have the mag life. I love those little videos.
Yeah, that started with Vine.
So you're in the airport.
Yeah.
And like at the magazine stand, right?
Yeah, if you look up the hashtag DJ Spider Mag Life, you'll see like, I don't know if I have 100 yet, but 100 of these like 15-second videos of me just basically imitating a magazine. It's like you can be from any. There's no words, so you don't have to speak a language to understand. It's just me making fun of a face. It was on Vine. I remember I had like been up all night. I was probably drunk or something in the morning in the Vegas airport. And I went in that weird store that has like the underwear with stuff written on it. Like, on like boxers and says like home of the Whopper, like some stupid comment. And I was like filming it and then doing my face reaction. I thought it was funny at the time. And I had another like 2 seconds left and I didn't know what else to do. And I found a magazine. I imitated the face. And people were like, oh, that's funny. And then the Instagram came out with like a 15-second video.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, shit, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So I went and did it again. And everyone was like, that's so funny. I'm like, oh, my God, people actually like this dumb thing I'm doing. So I just.
It's funny.
It's something fun for me to do in the airport. And just like.
Well, as a DJ, you spend a lot of time in airports.
Oh, my God. I'm there and with delays. And
yeah, of course.
And then it's fun to do. Sometimes I get confronted by the Hudson News employees.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time not. Like, people are always like, I want to see the behind the scenes of what the people are looking at you like. I'm like, I don't look at the people. I don't know what. Of course. They're probably like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
But I've had, sometimes they come up and just go, excuse me, sir, can I help you? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm just taking a picture for my friend.
Yeah.
But one time in Reno, this person was just like, got so mad, like, I don't like what you're doing, this is not good, you have to get out of here. And I'm like, there's no rule, I can't film a magazine cover and I tried to show her, I'm like, look, I'll show you. And she's like, no, she's covering her face and she, I don't want to see it, I don't want to see it. I'm like, it's so then she ends up going so close to me and staring at me while I'm doing it, so it felt so awkward that I'm like, I'm leaving. And luckily there's weird like bear sculptures in the Reno airport, so I just finished it off with that one.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, it's it's just some stupid thing I do. There's not really any rhyme or reason to the stuff I do.
So I guess what I wonder, and then the other thing I love this, make DJing great again.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Obviously very relevant.
Yeah, so it's the Trump slogan, make America great again.
And is it just for fun, or is there like a statement about honestly, DJing or politics or anything we're supposed to take from it?
I'll say, so I'm doing it with this guy, another DJ named Mr. Best, and he's one of my good friends. He's a dope DJ, and he hit me and was like, yo, we should do a hat that's like the Trump thing, make DJing great again. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I want to associate anything with Trump. Right. Like, it's so ridiculous, you know? And then I was like, wait, you know what? It's just a joke. Let's just do it. It'll be so funny. Like, let's just make a few of them. So we made like 20, just, as a joke. Figure we'd give them to a couple DJs. I'll post it on the internet. Complete joke. Obviously, it has somewhat of a meaning, but not really. I mean, it was a joke,
Right. Yeah, sure.
And so we post it, and it kind of went not viral like the Whole Foods thing, but viral in the DJ world in the sense that so many big DJs were like, number one, saying, I need that hat, send it to me immediately. I'm like, oh my God. So we just ran out of the hats like that day. I mean, like, Diplo, everyone's hit us like, yo, need that hat right now. It's like that day I'm bringing it to him. I'm sending it to everybody, Jazzy Jeff, like so many people. I mean, even the Cascades like tweeting me about it. It's crazy. And, but the other side of it was it had a crazy backlash,
really?
Which then began these insane debates on Facebook and Instagram from DJs in Germany, like all over the world, just like, how could you make that? I mean, it's as if I'm making a hat, that had a Hitler quote about DJing, and I'm like, I don't know about that, but I mean, and one of the guys that was saying that I have the utmost respect for, like, he's an amazing DJ, and even other ones that were kind of hating on it, I have so much respect for them, and I have respect for their opinion on it. Like, I even understand what they're saying, but I was gonna write back, but then so many other big DJs were writing back, and the debate got so amazing that it was giving me insight into how much this hat or saying or whatever did mean, and kind of how art is. It's almost like artistic in a way where it brought out some emotions and was a divisive thing and made people think, and debate, like, no, he's saying this, he's saying this, like, he's a horrible person, he's great, I love it, it's a joke, you're an idiot, and they're going crazy back and forth.
That's fantastic.
And they're showing each other stuff. So it's it's been pretty interesting. So we printed up like 500 more of them and made a little store for people that want to buy them, and we made stickers, and my friend just made some slip mats, and we had some couple other things that we'll make for it. And,
nice.
It kind of turned into a weird little movement with the hashtag, because I noticed all these people entering in the Red Bull 3 style, and just bedroom DJs using it, like, and they just to promote their video of them scratching.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is kind of dope. So we created an Instagram, and I'm like, let's just use this Instagram to promote, like, DJing that we think is dope. And I think a lot of old school people were looking at it like, that's right, make DJing great again. Serato sucks.
Right.
CDJs suck. I'm not saying that. Like, I don't care if you DJ on an iPad. If you're dope, it's dope. I don't care if you're just pushing the buttons. I'm not part of that school, like, of you have to do one thing or another. Vinyl's the only thing. Like, to me, make DJing great again is do it for the passion, do it for what you love. Be creative with what you have. A lot of the greatest guys started with the crappiest equipment and just made the best of it. And as they made money, that's when you got the good stuff. So, I mean, just being at South by Southwest, I saw guys that were so inspiring that I'd never heard of. I mean, I was doing like a set with Mick Boogie, or Mick now, and he's really dope. And we were doing this 2x4 thing, and it was really cool. And this guy came on after, some local dude named Buck Rogers, and he had like a machine controller, and he's just doing kind of what A-Rab music does and Jeremy Ellis and those guys, but in a party rocking sort of way, which I had never seen. And he's playing songs that people are dancing to and scratching. He's really good at scratching. He's playing Staying Alive, and then boom, flipping to like remixing the song, but not going so crazy that people have to watch him. They can keep doing it. And there's stuff like that make DJing great again. There's so many things, that you can do. So it actually became somewhat real, and that's why I want to curate with the Instagram, like, post up and coming DJs, dope old school DJs, and show people that don't know much about DJing to learn about it, have fans that are into it be able to watch, and give people that don't have a big outlet maybe a better outlet, so people can see a bedroom DJ that deserves it,
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's been a weird thing. I just thought it was a stupid joke.
So, but if you think about all this stuff, the online, the social stuff, like, how much does it matter to your business and your career?
The social stuff? I mean, it matters a lot.
It does.
I don't like to think in terms of that, but you're forced to in a way, and and then the world moves in that way, and then I don't know. So, I mean, I look at social media, it's weird. I love it. It's so much fun. I also see social media as like I don't know the right wording, but like social media like advocates unhappiness and comparison and jealousy sort of, or it just makes you like look at what everybody else is doing in a way, which then makes you think about yourself, which is somewhat unhealthy. Like, you should be just looking inside yourself and competing with yourself and doing things for your own reasons, but you get sucked into this world, which then can make you unhappy. I think it's just a weird thing, but it's fun at the same time.
Right.
So, and then it's the whole thing of, oh, how many followers do they have? Okay, we're going to pay them this much,
Right.
So it's
well, that's what I wonder, right? So when these things happen, like, can you see that? Do you see that in your bookings? Do you see it in the conversations you're having with promoters? I remember the Whole Foods thing. I mean, we got booked. Like, I had clubs hitting me up all over the place. Like, we will fly the whole group up. You'll DJ, you perform Whole Foods parking lot. We did shows with Too Short. It was the weirdest thing ever. I mean, these guys are from the Bay Area that I was with, so they were just like, this is a dream come true. Like,
I booked a show where I'm DJing a club and Too Short's performing and we're performing. It was like a weird, surreal dream. And Too Short's probably looking at us like, what the hell
fuck
is
are these
this?
kids?
Yeah, like this is so stupid. But yeah, I mean, that thing got bookings. This hat, I mean, I'm doing a club that wants to do a night called Make DJing Great Again. And they're
Nice.
hitting me up about it. And all of it plays into it. I mean, the mag life, the clubs use it to promote it, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't start the projects like that, but sure, if they want to use it, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care. You know, it's hard to see like that certain amounts of followers will get people gigs, but I understand it. It's advertising for the clubs. You know, it's free advertising, and they want eyeballs to see their club. So if somebody has a lot of followers, they're gonna get those eyeballs to see them. I guess.
Yeah, and I think that the interesting thing, I mean, I've heard a lot of debate about that,
yeah,
you know, and obviously there's some ways that it's just obviously ridiculous, right?
yes, of course.
But the flip side is, you know, what should people use, right? And
I know.
and you know, there's a lot of great DJs out there. There's a lot of not so great DJs out there, and like,
yeah,
you know, it's sort of naive to think like if you're on the buying side that you're just going to be able to listen and, you know, to a mixtape
yeah.
and hear the brilliance in some guy and know that that's the right fit for your room.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the old school model was they would have a DJ, they would have promoters, which I'm sure they still have, but it's different now because the promoter is the social media in a way,
Yeah.
you know, and so
Absolutely.
if a DJ has a huge social media following, they're almost both in one, and the club's like, great, here we go, we'll give you more money, and,
Sure.
you know, plus they'll hire a really good DJ to open and close that will get paid a couple $100, and the other person will get paid thousands of dollars. So
Right.
it's unfair, but
Yeah.
every city has amazing DJs. I mean, just that you've never heard of, you know?
Yeah.
So even these guys in Vegas, I mean, you'll see these guys that will close out a club in Vegas and they're so good. It's crazy. They're probably getting paid like 0.0001% of the
Right.
guy before them. You know, they're
Yeah.
getting $400 and the guy before is getting $400,000.
Right.
But at that point, it's not based on how good you are. You know, they
Right.
want to have the good person to
Sure.
keep people in the club, but they want that other person to bring the business,
people there.
bring the status to them, and
Mhm.
elevate them to be the club of that city, I guess, you
Mhm.
know.
Absolutely.
So I understand it. I try not to be negative or hate on anything like that, you know.
Mhm.
It's all part of the game, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
And if you just take it all with a grain of salt, have fun with it, then who cares, you
Yeah.
know? If you take it, if you're so crazy and you're buying all your followers and you have such a strategy and you're so, you know, like I can't do that thing where I look at who unfollowed me or followed me. or,
Right.
you know, I can't believe it. I'm not friends with them. I'm like, please, if you do not like what I'm posting, unfollow me. I'd rather be friends with you in real life than have you think I'm annoying, which I probably am, you know, on social media. It's like, who cares? It's social media.
It's funny. I have a friend who was just saying like, he's like, I love it when people cancel like a lunch with me or something. Cause like, if you got something better to do, like go do it.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
let's only hang out if that's what we both really want to do.
Yeah, I don't want your mind somewhere else. I don't
Yeah.
want you like not everyone is going to like my personality on social media. I don't
Yeah.
care, you know. Plus, who are all these people? I mean, everyone looks at those girls or whoever, oh, she has 7.8 million followers. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, 7.7 million of them are like the weirdest dudes in a dark room like, hey, baby, I love your style. Like,
For sure.
no one wants even in their club or
Right.
around them, but
Yeah.
you know, they still utilize that
It's a number.
7.8 million as like an advertising number or
Yeah.
something.
Absolutely.
So,
So
Yeah.
who, how have you learned all this stuff? Have you had mentors that have helped you
you mean with music stuff?
in general? Like,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
are you learning everything kind of on your own, trial and error, or have people stepped up to help you?
I mean, in the beginning, it was all by myself. I didn't know what was going on. You know, I just was like, I got turntables, I got a few friends, we don't know what's going on. I just, you know, I would watch VHS tapes, you know, of like the Invisible Scratch Pickles and like Rock Rada and Rob Swift and those guys, and I would listen to tapes of that. You know, I mean, that was all that. But I think in the I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had a mentor per se, but there's people I've really looked up to and that have helped me and that I've sort of not modeled after, but just thought that's cool. I want to try to do my own take on that. So like when like about 10 years in, I entered a contest for that BPM magazine was throwing. I had never traveled anywhere in DJ. I'd never done anything. I'd always wanted to go to Winter Music Conference. It was the thing to do when I was in college radio. I didn't know what it was, but it sounded so cool. I knew all these like hip hop guys would go do shows there. I didn't even know it was so like EDM heavy at the time. And I remember that was the prize. You got to like open for Mark Ronson at Winter Music Conference. So I'm like, okay, I'll enter this. What do I have to lose? And I had entered other contests, and there was this guy Steve Wonder I had met in LA, and he became one of my best friends. And he's someone that he had a really big influence on me, just his music, and he was just so inspirational to me, like everything like he was doing and the stuff he was into, and he knew so much about breaks, and his vinyl collection was crazy. And he just became like my partner, my best friend in all this. And we became a 2x4 team, and we would enter these Scion contests, and I remember we would win like the 2x4 thing. And
nice.
It was fun, but that never like went anywhere with, we would open for like Biz Markie or someone or Pete Rock. It was my dream come true, but that was it. I would, go back home and go DJ at a bar for $150 and make I couldn't support myself. I was like working at a perfume company, like filling bottles all day. And then like, it was crazy. But, so I entered that contest. I remember, doing that and even telling my mom, like after I made the mix, I remember like just kind of like staying up all night. I think I like smoked a bunch of weed, like stayed up all night, had to make this 30-minute mix, send it in. And then I remember telling my mom, like, I think I'm going to quit DJing. Like, I've been doing this for like 10 years. I can't make more than like $150 to $300 a week. I don't know what's going on. I'm working at a perfume place. It's ridiculous. I got to get like a real job and do what I thought I was going to do. And then randomly, like that day, I get a call and they say, hey, I'm with Mark Ronson. He just picked your mix as the winning mix. We want you next week to go play with him at LAX nightclub in LA, which is DJ AM's club, and then go to Winter Music, open for him and AM and like all this stuff. I'm like, what are you?
Wow.
Is this a joke?
That's amazing.
I thought it was one of my friends. And then, so that ends up happening. And the guy who was calling me was Matt Colin. He's Steve Aoki's manager now, and he does so much stuff. And he, they really put me on and kind of like showed me what was going on. But to go to the mentor thing, it wasn't like Mark Ronson was my mentor, but being able to see that was unbelievable, and just see what that guy had been doing, what he was doing, and then being able to, I went on quote unquote tour with him. It wasn't like we were on a bus all over the place, but we played in Philadelphia, this place, a bunch of cities. And to me, it was just insane. I hadn't done stuff like that before. And seeing and also I had just seen AM's DJing and was so inspired by that. And then seeing Mark Ronson, almost like the East Coast version of it, and how different it was, and just the way he was dropping stuff was so amazing. So I don't know, I took all of that, I internalized it, I guess. Yeah. And then that night where we did the Winter Music was like a life-changing night for me. We were at Mansion, and I opened for them, and I mean, it was crazy. Like, everybody was on stage, like Timbaland, Pharrell, like everyone I'd ever seen in my life. I mean, every DJ I'd ever looked up to was there, and I was beyond nervous. I mean, I was like shitting in my pants. And so I did my set.
That's great.
And then I remember seeing him, like AM did the dopest set ever, and then Mark gets on and he does the craziest set, and he's just on the fly doing a Timbaland versus Pharrell set, like, and he's like, boom, back and forth. Like, every time he'd play one, like Timbaland's team would go crazy, and then Pharrell's team would go crazy. And I'm like, how is this even happening? And just seeing all that, like, it taught me so much, you know, about, wow, this is what it is to be a DJ, and you got to be ready for all these things. And so I guess, that, and then AM helped me a lot, with getting gigs and getting me on his management team, in the very beginning of Deckstar and all that stuff. So that was mentorish. It wasn't like I was with him every day, like, how do I do this? But, a lot of times I'd feel awkward even hitting him up and asking for stuff. I mean, he's so busy, and
of course,
so everybody wanted to talk to him. And I'm not one to really ask for stuff, and I don't want to bother people, I guess, you know. So, like, yeah, that in that way, I guess that was mentor-ish, and I've had other people I look up to, but it's a little bit from afar, and then trying to take it in and then bring it back out from my own perspective, if that makes sense.
That's great. Well, we're out of time.
Oh, damn.
But I have, but I always, so I don't know if you can pick somebody, but do you have a favorite DJ?
Oh, God, I don't know. No. I mean, I've had so many through my life, you know, like Jazzy Jeff is so amazing, so inspirational. The fact what he has done through the time of DJing and how he's progressed and constantly progressing is so amazing. He's definitely one of my favorite DJs, you know. I mean, but growing up, I mean, going to raves here, there's this guy, RAW, who was just, he was the reason I wanted to be a DJ. I mean, he was unbelievable. And there was a guy, DJ Hype from London, that was everything to me. You know, there was so many people. Qbert, I mean, that's all I listened to. Qbert, Shortcut, all Invisible Scratch Pickles, and the East Coast guys, the X-Men. I mean, as I grew as a DJ, I just would have different favorite DJs over time, you know. And then DJ AM is probably the most inspirational DJ to me, that is constantly in my head every time I'm DJing, and anytime I'm listening to music or doing a mix, I think about him. So it's just like they're all in
great.
there.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
That's dope. Well, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank you
it.
for
I wish
having
we
me.
had more time.
I know.
Come back after the tour, man. I'd love to
Okay.
hear how it went and
And
hear about what's next.
yeah, hopefully I got a bunch of weird videos from it and stuff.
For sure. Where does everybody find you?
Well, I'm online in different variations of DJ Spider. So my Instagram is DJ Spider, just spelled DJ SPIDER, and my Twitter and website and stuff is DEEJAY SPIDER. So just Google DJ Spider and you'll probably find me
The
somewhere.
challenges of the
on that.
web.
Yes.
and all the names
Yeah,
and
there's
stuff.
all these jerks that
Yeah.
have different things
For
that they
sure.
won't give me. So,
Right.
but yeah, Google me. You see some guy with curly hair and making funny faces, and you'll find me.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
I'm going to come look for you on tour.
All right.
Dope.
Sounds good.
Good
All
stuff.
right. Peace.
Yes, that was DJ Spider. Check him out online. Go order a Make DJing Great Again hat. Post a picture of it online at our Twitter, at Rebel Radio Net, or on Facebook. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star iTunes review if you would. I'd appreciate that. Come back next week for more Rebel Radio.